Good day, everyone. David Paul speaking. Welcome to our 8 Vital Tips for Stock Market Trading Success series. This is the third video, and in the first video, I included tips 1 to 3, which were all risk related, risk and position sizing related. In video number 2, I spoke about tip number 4, which is all about managing the trade and not to let winning positions turn into losing positions. Just to remind you who I am, I'm David Paul. I'm the Managing Director of VectorVest in the UK, where I've been helping retail traders improve their performance with VectorVest for the last, I suppose, 6 or 7 years now. Now, today, tip number 5 is all about trading in the very best shares. This alone will help your portfolio to do well. And to cut to the chase, folks, these shares should be undervalued and growing their profits strongly and safely. And to quote Warren Buffett's mentor, a chap called Benjamin Graham, he said that earnings per share growth is the engine that drives the share price. At VectorVest, our founder, Dr. DeLido, makes a wonderful analogy between a successful football team and a successful portfolio, where he says that if you fill the team with the very best players, that alone will help the team do well. And similarly, if you fill your portfolio with the very, very best stocks, that in itself will help your portfolio do well. So how do we do that? First of all, there's an awful lot of work required to do that, but I'm glad to report that certainly for me, VectorVest does all the heavy lifting of the calculation. So, what I've got here is that I've got a candle chart, and I think the candle price moving up the page. Down below the price plot, I have got earnings per share. And at VectorVest, we have a forecasted earnings per share automatically included in the program. I don't have to go foraging around the internet to try and find these numbers. And I like to see earnings per share rise from the bottom left of its window to the top right of its window. So earnings per share growth is the engine that drives the share price. That's the first thing. Secondly, I want to favor undervalued shares, and I was taught many, many years ago that the only way to make money in anything is to find the value of something and then pay less for it. And whether you're in used cars, whether you're in property, or whether you're in the share market, that still holds. So I want to favor shares that are trading below their valuation. Again, at VectorVest, the VectorVest algorithm puts a value to every share on the London stock market every single evening, so I can tell at a glance which shares are trading below their valuation or above their valuation. I want to favor those that are trading below their valuation. Now, some time ago, I was doing a webcast, and the webcast was based on the American market, and one chap called Steve told me that he just bought the share. He'd bought the share for a fairly simple technical reason, in that he had felt that this was a double bottom, and he'd felt that there was a trend line break of some description here as well. So he felt that that was a very good place to, in fact, buy into the share. When I actually looked at it, I was convinced fairly quickly that it wasn't a good place to buy into the share for the following reasons. First of all, the share is making a series of falling tops. But on top of that, when I added earnings per share and I added valuation, I could see that the share was trading significantly above the VectorVest valuation, and earnings per share, in fact, was falling off the side of a cliff. So the probabilities of this being a turnaround, in my humble opinion, were low, and I told him that fairly emphatically, and he got out of the share pretty much straight away, and he was very glad he did, because that's what happened. So folks, just by being involved with those shares, the very best shares, shares that are undervalued, shares that are growing their earnings strongly and reliably, that's going to put you significantly into the winning camp on its own. And there's a share that I'm presently holding in the UK. It's called Eland Oil and Gas. That's over the last 2 years. Earnings per share is up from 10 pence to 40p. Maybe not as linearly as I would like. It's a real world. And the share is trending up the page quite nicely. And VectorVest gives us some very neat little buy signals. The green above the prices are a valuation, and the blue in the window below. This is my standard layout, and I bought the share just where my little lines are. It's currently on a buy recommendation, going sideways, doing its best to get through that old high. Now, we want to trade in those shares that have got really, really good fundamentals. That alone will put you into the winning camp. And of course, we want to find those shares very quickly indeed. And I haven't got a great deal of time here, but if on VectorVest itself, if I go out of the program and get rid of those lines of mine and go into VectorVest itself, this is one of our most conservative uni searches, which is a pre-programmed search. It's under retirement. It's our most conservative search. It's called Long-Term Winners RS Descending, and it in fact finds those shares with the best track record of making money on the London stock market. So I'm looking for a share above 50p. Has to have reasonable volume. It's on the main market, not an AIM. I want to favour undervalued shares, and the share price is less than the value, and it's not on a sell recommendation. Now, I've gone back to the 1st of January this year, and I've run the search, and those are the shares that it came up with. JD Sports right at the top. Now, if I test those shares, a simple linear test, and that will be from the 1st of January, 2nd of January, should I say, right through to when I'm recording this on the 12th of March. If I test those, a linear test, I can see that that portfolio has no losers, and it's up 14%, whereas the general market is up 5.68%. So the objective of this little tip, folks, is to convince you that just by being in the best shares, that can put you into the winning camp, and also to show you how VectorVest can actually get to those good shares without a great deal of effort on your part. Thank you very much.